Guys.
Welcome to the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network, giving educators a big voice. This is episode number 16 on December 10th, 2013. And we are very excited to have Evan. Is it Scherr? Is that how I say it? Or did I say it right, Evan?
Scherr. Yeah.
See that? Scherr. I like it. Okay. I'm Drew Minnock at Tech Minnock on Twitter, and you can also find me at our blog, twoguysandsomeipads.com, and also I have my awesome co-host here at Tech Brad Wade.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network. I am one of your hosts, Brad Wade. You can find me on Twitter at TechBradWade. We'd love to have you join us tonight. Please chat with us. Join us by using the hashtags.
Absolutely.
Hashtag Two Guys Show. We'd love
With
to.
the number 2.
With the number 2. I believe it's on my lower third right there. And we are so excited to have one of our really good friends join us tonight. We've known Evan for quite a while. We actually got connected with Evan through Twitter, and we started doing Google Hangouts, and then chatting, and then texting, and just finding out what's going on. So, Evan, we'd like to welcome you. Thanks for joining the show with us tonight.
And thanks for having me. It's good to be here. Or should I say konnichiwa, since we're
there you
konnichiwa hour.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Evan is an educator in Japan. He's an American, but he's over in Japan. We're going to hear his story about being abroad and overseas.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing is it is about a 10-hour difference. It's just after 11 o'clock on
More
Wednesday.
than that, isn't it, Evan?
Yeah, it's actually a 14. It's 14-hour difference.
What did I say?
10.
Then yeah,
No,
we're 14.
okay. Sorry, I even said 11. Yeah, I know it's 2 plus. So, because I told my kids, remember, Evan, we were talking a few weeks ago, and it was evening. I asked my kids, I said, hey, I'm talking with my friend Evan tonight. Like, oh, in Japan. And Brandon goes, oh, yeah, it was morning over there. It was nighttime with us. So it's just after 11 on Wednesday, just before lunch, correct?
Right. I'm actually on lunch right now. So
Nice.
Took
Thank you
your
for
lunch
spending
break.
your lunch break with us.
spending my
Absolutely.
lunch break with the two guys. Absolutely.
Woo! So awesome. All right, so Evan, we're going to give you, for those people who don't know, can you give us the 2-minute version of who you are, where you teach, and what you do?
All right, sure. Well, I'm Evan Scherr, and I am the educational technologist for the E.J. King School. We're a middle and high school. We're located in Sasebo, Japan. We're on a U.S. Navy base,
Very cool.
so we're part of the Department of Defense education activity. And essentially what I do is I help teachers integrate technology into their curriculum.
Awesome. That's great. And throughout our conversation tonight, we're going to hear bits and pieces about what you're doing, being over there, when you might be coming back stateside or somewhere all over the country. I know you have a certain time frame you're there, and then you're open up to new ventures and stuff like that. So we're going to get that conversation going. But look, Ev, this is some really cool stuff. Want to talk about last week, where you were, if I'm not mistaken, which I know I'm not because we already talked about this. You were at the Google Teacher Academy in London, correct?
Yes, I just recently became a Google certified teacher, and today we just welcomed some new ones. They did Sweden, so welcome if there's anyone from Sweden,
Stockholm,
which
I
I
believe,
doubt,
right?
'cause it's like the middle of the night there. But congrats to all the
you never know.
new GCTs from Sweden.
So Evan, give us the 2-minute version of what the experience was like. You landed in London, and then okay, once you're there, getting ready to go into the Google Teacher Academy. Kind of walk us through it.
Well, you want to know about the application process, or do you want to actually know about
tell
the
us
academy itself?
that. Tell us the application
Sure.
process to being Google certified teacher, and then just kind of like how it was like being there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's our lunch bell. Well, Google in Education will actually send out an update or and announce a Google Teacher Academy, and they're located throughout the world. They're always located at a Google headquarters somewhere in the world. So it's not necessarily going to be in Mountain View where their global headquarters is. The one prior to London was actually in Chicago. So they throw up an application, and it's a pretty interesting application. You have to talk about yourself. You have to talk about what you do and what you like, and then there's a 1-minute video that you have to create to go along with it. You put everything together, and you put your video on there on YouTube, and then it goes out for judging. And then the day that they say that they're going to let you know, they will let you know. So you always have to check your spam folder, because that's where mine was. It was actually in my spam folder. I was actually following the feed as people were getting accepted and looking. I was like, oh man, did I not get in? But it was actually in my spam folder. And then I mean, that's just kind of like where the adventure just starts for you. I mean, it's just a crazy ride. You start to connect. Instantly your social network kind of your PLN just blows up at that point with the new attendees for the academy. I mean, you start to connect with all the people that were accepted to your cohort.
Right.
You get updates throughout the weeks leading up, because it's a really quick from the time they let you know. Like, they let me know at the end of October, and it was last week, so you don't get a lot of time to prepare. I mean, once you're in, you got to book your travel and all that fun stuff. And then you start talking to, the other members of the cohort and getting to know them. And then somewhere in there, probably 2-3 weeks in there, they actually they do something called the lead learner, which is past participants, and you get contacted, and then you're put into a team, and you do a Google Hangout just like this with your team, and you get to know and answer questions, and have a lot of fun, and just get your Google on.
That's
and
awesome.
Then you actually get there.
Google on. I love it.
Google on, yeah. I mean, just be all googly, I guess, is what we call it.
I'll tell you what, googly is I just watched The Internship.
Oh man, no.
And that's exactly what they talk about, is being googly. So
talk about a movie that hits every stereotype known to man.
Right. It was pretty funny though. It did what we wanted to do. It made us laugh, so it was good.
Yeah. So then you get there, and they tell you which building you're waiting in, and there's like just a ton of security, and you walk in, and the security guard, what are you doing here, and who are you, and who are you meeting, and you wait, and others start to join, and then the moment happens where you actually get escorted inside the building, and you get to go up to an office, and you're just completely blown away right from the get-go. I mean, you can see the offices from the lobby, but their whole approach to working and collaboration is it's something to be admired. It's the whole office is fun, it's bright, it's colorful. You know what their culture is, like the moment you walk into their office. Other Googlers, that's what they're called, the ones that actually are lucky enough to work there every day. They're called Googlers. Really friendly, they see a whole bunch of people coming, and it's not like they sit there and they hide. I mean, they want to get to know you. They want to welcome you. They want to make you feel like you're a part of their family. And then from there, man, it's just it's 2 days of just awesomeness. I mean, everything just comes at you fast and furious. You have to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Right.
Because there's things that they tell you that are coming down the pipeline, and the things that that we learned at ours that are coming down the pipeline. I mean, it's just see their thinking. It's amazing, and just what's out there now. I mean, some of the tools that we can talk about now, like the Google Cultural Institute. If no one's familiar with that, I highly recommend Googling the Cultural Institute. A lot of really great learning applications for that. And then it's just a really, I wouldn't say intense, because it's not so much that it's intense. It's just a lot of fun to just listen to Googlers, listen to how all these awesome. I mean, there's 47 of us in this cohort, so I'm around 46, just really innovative and awesome educators doing their thing. The connections you make, and then of course you have to talk about the food. I mean, the food is incredible. Awesome. I mean, fat. I mean, that's my advice. If you're ever lucky enough, fortunate enough to apply and get accepted to this, don't eat for at least a week. You are never 90 feet away from food, and I mean, and just what they set up for us. The British, I mean, they have these things called flapjacks. I am so hooked on these. When I go back, I cannot wait to get another. And it's not what we Americans think of as flapjack. It was what was described to me as is it's just oats and butter, but it's so good.
But it's awesome, huh?
not good for you, but it's really good. So they feed you, they celebrate our accomplishment as teachers, and it's a really awesome feeling. And then once it's all said and done, wow, I mean, just the network you're a part of, the people that are a part of your PLN and that are past certified teachers. I mean, I know you guys had Kyle Pace on last week, right? Kyle was a big reason why I applied. I mean, him encouraging me to go for it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
It is.
That's what PLNs are all about, man, is encouraging each other, inspiring each other, helping each other, showing each other the way, sharing stories and information. And all right, so here's something that was interesting, because we were on the show on Tuesday and we knew you were going over like the next day.
Yep.
I don't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday morning, but all of a sudden you gave us you tweeted out, and then I texted you privately about it. What happened when you got there? When all of a sudden about a shout out. You gotta tell us what happened, because you kind of
because we don't even know.
No, I don't know the story yet. So what happened?
Which story when I landed?
No. You gave us. You said that someone shouted us out at the Google Teacher Academy or something. We thought it was you.
That was day one. We were actually the lead learners had to Google does these things called demo slam. So you come up and you have 3 minutes to basically like wow us with a tool, and all the lead learners there had to come up and essentially wow us with the tool. And one of the lead learners, Mark Allen, he used Erasma for his demo slam. He showed how it could be used along with Google, and someone sitting at my table shouted out, "Oh, that's just like the two guys," and I was like,
"Yes,
so you know the two guys?" Sweet.
Where was that?
So you got some London and some GTA love there.
That's awesome. That is what we like to call an edu-win.
That was,
like the EdReach network, right?
Dude,
so you want to talk about it? That is a huge edu-win for us. So I mean, if you guys don't know about the edu-wins, you can definitely go to eduwin.org and submit edu-wins or people that you think are doing awesome things, and so definitely check that out. So Brad, what's an edu-win that you've actually had recently?
Me?
Yeah, because I know that you had your little I don't even know what you'd call it. You had a specific name where you just kind of let the kids get their hands dirty last week, and I would say that's probably something that you're more proud of with your edu-win.
Yeah, this was a definite edu-win for me. I was I don't know how much I mentioned on the show last week. I'm not even sure if I had done it yet, but I was going through all our AR stuff, and I asked the kids how much augmented reality to use in the classroom, and they gave us 5 different things. My 8-year-olds, my 3rd graders, gave us 5 different augmented reality applications we use in the classroom. Okay? I was going through all my material. I found 5 more augmented reality things that we were not using yet. So I'd already
that you already had, or that you found new?
No, that I had, but I hadn't shown the kids yet, because I didn't. I want to make sure everything's meaningful and integrated. So what I did is I said, all right. So I came up with this idea called the AR explosion. So I set up stations, kind of like math workshop or writer's workshop. This was augmented reality, AR workshop. So what I did is I put all these different markers at 4 different stations with iPads. And I have a 2-to-1 iPad ratio. So what I did is half the kids were on the iPads and half the kids were filling out a piece of paper. So every station had like the name of the app on it and then what they needed to do. They went and they got in the sandbox and they were exploring things. So the cool thing is, and I've learned this and I see it all the time, kids have amazing ideas, the way they think that we should integrate things. So like that's what I want to do. I want to get feedback from them. So they went to the station, and they had about 3 or 4 minutes. It wasn't a long time, 3 or 4 minutes. Kind of, they already know augmented reality, so they knew what it was. They go in, get the experience, and they see it through their eyes. Then they had to put the name of the app down, what they like the best, and then how we can use it in the classroom. And I'm telling you, oh my gosh! I mean, Drew, I think I saw you in the media center, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I can't even believe it. The kids are just going nuts, and they were just like. It was one of the best days we've had, and they were just like so engaged in the learning because they'd go to the station, then they'd go back and fill it out, and the other kids would come to the station. We kind of flip-flop. So it was, it's just, and then with the hour of code today, which we'll talk about later, just great edu-win. So there's my story, and I think Evan has an edu-win too. I think he said.
Yeah, I have an edu-win. You know, my primary function is to train teachers, and I'm really fortunate. If I have one of the best world language teachers, like literally, he's right next door to me at the moment. His name is Cameron Taylor, Profe Taylor on Twitter,
Nice.
and he is doing some really amazing and innovative things. I'm really excited that he and I were accepted to present at a conference in Singapore together on how he's using technology to engage his Spanish 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and AP
Awesome.
he teaches. So he's doing he's really doing some amazing things. He's actually getting his kids right now set up with blogs, and he's going to actually start having his kids do blogging in Spanish on current events and current issues. He started. He was the one that I think I tweeted this to you guys when it happened. I just barely mentioned augmented reality to him, just barely mentioned it to him, and he went and he downloaded the app and he started to play with the app. And the next day, the very next day, he had a lesson ready to go. He created a. He just went. I mean, and he was so blown away by it. And then we've been talking about doing this really cool project with the museum down in Nagasaki, potentially about integrating AR into the museum experience, because as you can imagine, living in Japan, not a lot of things in English around here to do, but still, I mean, the Japanese have beautiful art collections and culture, and as outsiders, we're very curious about it. So maybe creating like some AR trails within the museum that link to English language videos and content, so that when we visit, because we're about an hour and a half outside of Nagasaki, so for us to be able to go visit there and enjoy some of the artwork and cultural experiences around Japan, some really good potential there. But yeah, Cameron is just doing some fantastic things with technology, and the best part about it is he's so excited about it, and he's always, he's telling me every day about his edu-wins and just, how the kids are just responding to it and just loving it, and you're like, yeah, and, absolutely. So he's definitely an up and comer in the ed tech world, so it's great to have world language guys.
I think we know as educators, when you're really passionate or really excited about something, I mean, you can't fake that.
No.
I mean, it just comes out of you. It comes out of your pores, Get your kids excited about what you're learning about, all those things, When you're really excited about your lesson, it's amazing how positive the experience is. But when you are not excited about a lesson, or you don't agree with the way that it's being taught, you can't fake it. I mean, you can try and be excited. The kids see right through it, I think, anyway. And it's difficult, but there's nothing better than just being so geeked about a lesson and it just working so well.
It's so true, and you know what? It's funny because you're starting to see more and more people just talk about this and connect the dots, if you will. Because like just today, Marty Keltz on Twitter. Marty Keltz was one of the executive producers that put together Magic School Bus, In the Cupboard, Goosebumps, and all that. Him and I have been chatting on Twitter. Well, he just put out today a post, and the thing is he says I'm always a salesman, but the thing is, he's like, but I never felt bad about it because I was always selling an education. I'm always passionate about his projects. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Drew, and like you just talked about, Evan, when you're passionate about it, it totally changes the game. The kids believe it. They're engaged. They want to get excited, just like when we did the AR explosion the other day and the AR code and all the cool things that you're doing, Evan, and things I see in your room, Drew. It's just the kids buy in. And when we have buy-in, it was funny. I was talking to my kids today. We just did our code. We did Lightbot early, and then we did the Angry Birds on code.org this afternoon. And we were talking about, the kids said that was one of the best days ever. And I said, you know what? I said, one day, guys, I said, you know how we do social studies and science and writing and reading? I said, in the near future, this is going to be part of it. We're going to be thinking about coding and technology. I said, everything's going to be integrated. I said, one thing we do is we learn to teach through strengths. I said, look, guys, if I can teach you through this excitement right now, because of all of you excited, I can get so much, and we can have so much fun. I had my student teacher today. I said, look, you see how excited they are? I had my back to the kids. I said, if I ask them to write about that now, they're going to write for an hour because they're so excited. Even the kids that don't care to write, it didn't matter. They were so engaged and so passionate, so excited about what we just did. So if you can build through that strength, you know, it's like we say, you know, if you can get the Midas touch, you're golden.
Well, they take ownership of it, you know, because they're excited about their learning. And I think that's one of the things that people need to realize is that when you can create a learner, a lifelong learner, someone who's loving what they're learning, the kind of power that has, you know, and the deeper level learning that takes place because they're so engaged and they're so excited about it. I mean, they'll write if they hate writing. They'll read forever if they hate reading. If they're passionate and it's something they're enjoying, they're taking ownership over it. And I don't think that, you know, as educators, it's almost harder. I think for the hour of code, I bet you in a lot of school districts, it's harder to get the teachers on board than it would be to get the kids engaged in the lesson, obviously. You know, I mean, and that's sad because it's computer science and programming is a skill that, you know, kids nowadays they're going to need to know when it comes to, you know, actually going out into the workforce.
Yeah. I mean, I think we also, too, forget that EduWin are not just for us teachers. EduWins are for students as well.
Yes.
And technology really allows kids from all around the world to share the EduWins with the world, and that's something that we often overlook, and that's just powerful for these kids is they want to share, they want to get their ideas out there. So, you know, let's not forget what technology can do for that as well.
You know, I had a meeting yesterday during lunch with some of our PTO representatives and things like that about a digital citizenship workshop I'm doing for parents in January. And it's kind of funny because I started laughing because it's a 2-hour session, but I only go for like the last 45 minutes. The first hour is our district police officer coming in there and scaring them to death about, well, this is what can happen on social media, you know, this and that. I'm like, well, this is going to be weird, you know. I've got the police officer going before me who's saying, don't ever touch a computer ever again in your lifetime. And I'm going to come in and be like, let's go, you know, let's make an account on everything. You know, but, I mean, like, you just got to, like anything else, you know, you got to teach them how to use it, the power of, you know, the bad things that can come out of it if you don't do it correctly, but at the same time, the ability to knock down learning outside the four walls of your classroom is something that parents nowadays are not used to. They don't really get it, and I think that's our job to try and connect the dots and kind of show, like, kind of compare it to how they used to learn in some sort of way, even though it's not similar at all. It's not similar than when I was in school at all. You know, we didn't have these kind of connections and this ability, and, you know, we really have to try and create global learners now. It's not about, you know, just learning from the other kids in your classroom. It's about learning from kids your age all over the world.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And, you know, Drew, you've been very consistent with your message on that about creating that global learning and creating that kid that becomes a learner for life. You know, I mean, that's the big picture. That's our soapbox. You want to engage these kids. You want to help them become thinkers and learners. You know, sometimes they're going to be on their own. They're going to need to know how to be introspective and think and take all their experiences and try to figure out how to solve problems. But we also need to teach them how to reach out and try to get to their own PLN, whether it's somebody in the office right next to them or get on their own social network or whatever their contact or their PLN is to do better and to make the world a better place. So, but, you know, we do this every week, and there's all kinds of amazing things going on, and I know we could, you know, do the show for 3 hours, Evan, with you and with Drew and going over all this, but all right, I'm going to have to transition here because, Drew, I mean, Evan, we've talked about this for months. I'm still not even so familiar with it all. I don't even know it all. But tell us about GAF, you know, Google Apps for Educators. Kind of give us the big picture.
Brad, this is something we're going to need to get on. Or I'm a little bit more familiar with it.
I know some.
We're moving that way.
So I know we are. I know we are. So Evan, give us the overview on GAF.
Okay, I mean, where to start on this? I don't use the term game changer very often when it comes to new tools in our profession, but I think Google Apps for Education, which is what GAFE stands for, it just has so much potential. So if you think of what Microsoft Office once was, it's now basically what Google Apps is. So you've got your word processing, your presentation, your spreadsheets, It goes a step further with forms. It's basically you're creating an entire Google ecosystem, and it's right there at your fingertips. It allows for collaboration. So you and I can all, across the globe, we can be in a document together, learning from each other, editing. If you and I, if the three of us ever get lucky enough to present at a conference with each other, we don't have to be in Michigan where you guys are, or you guys don't have to come to Japan, although I'd love for you guys to come to Japan.
Absolutely.
I'll go to Japan.
Yeah.
Come to Japan. I've got a sushi dinner waiting for you, because
Sweet.
I love the sushi in Japan. It's so understated.
You guys got any Papa John's or anything like that over there? I'm not a big
No, you know what? We don't have Papa John's. On our base, we have Anthony's Pizza, and we just won't go there.
I'm in.
Not sure if you really qualifies as pizza, but hey,
We'll give it a go.
Hey, Evan, so real quick, for people who people, what, until they see it, they think collaborating on docs means like, okay, Evan, I'm going to write on it, I'm going to send it to you, you're going to write on it, you're going to send it to Drew and me. But that's not the case. I know because I've done it, but tell people actually what that real-time collaboration looks like.
Well, I mean, I'll give you guys an example of what Cameron is doing with his kids. So he's having his kids write within a Google document, and as they're writing, he's actually in the document at some point with them, and he's actually challenging, misconceptions or taking their thinking further right there in real time as they're reading it. So you can be in the document together, you could be editing the document together, you could be creating the document together. Or in Cameron's case, you could actually be commenting on what the students are doing. He's highlighting misspellings or grammar mistakes, and he's doing this all in Spanish since he's our Spanish teacher. And he's taking the kids just a step further. And what I love about it is we've completely eliminated this whole turning in mentality. Now we can give the kids the learning like right as it's happening, and those are the moments that we can capture that I think are just like brilliant, to quote my British friends.
Brilliant.
Oh, I love it.
And if somebody hasn't done it, it's absolutely incredible because, like Evan said, you can be in the document together. I know our good friend Todd, who we've already, I don't know if we've talked about it yet, but we talk about it every week. Him and I were on a document last week or a couple weeks ago, and it was just crazy. He was in Texas, I was in Michigan, and we were working on a document, and it was funny because I'm sure this happens. We ended up like texting in the document back and forth, like talking. Like we'd write some like, how does that sound? What do you think? And then he'd say, well, and then we'd have to make sure we delete that section before we make the document go live. But it's truly Google has some really cool stuff. And
to piggyback on something similar to that is I was at our 21st Century Learning cohort through our district the other day, and we had to break off into groups and kind of figure out a way that we were going to present the information that we researched. So we decided to make a website, right? Something that people can refer back to, this and that. But we had 9 people in our group. So instead of we're all sitting around the same table, all we did is I created a Google Doc, had everyone just constantly throwing information in there, into the same Google Doc, editing things, other people supporting, the information they're researching. And then I was able to pull that information and put it right in and create the website as everyone's researching it in real time. I mean, it was insane. It was awesome the amount of information we were able to, collect and then stuff into a website in like no time. It was awesome.
It is. Yeah. I'll actually be presenting in Hong Kong at a conference on collaborative research and using Google Apps to further the engagement level and just get kids working together to collect and analyze research. So it's our data. So it's there's some really powerful applications for it. My favorite are the spreadsheets. You can pretty much automate your life with those things.
So. That's crazy.
That's a tutorial you're gonna have to share with me one day because I'm not very good or familiar with spreadsheets. So if it can make my life easier, I'm definitely in.
All right. Challenge accepted.
Cool. So you talked about Hong Kong. This takes me to your trip to Malaysia recently, and the funny part is before you went, we chatted about the Two Guys logo, and we got some funny stories there that we'll share. Well, we can share some of them. and then yes. But the funny thing is when you were in Malaysia, we were in D.C., and I think it's kind of funny the Google Hangout we had, where you were and where we were when we decided to have a Google Hangout. So do you remember where we were, Evan?
You were at the Lincoln Memorial.
Yes, we were. So Drew, Todd, and I were in Washington, D.C. with Todd for the Champions of Change, and Evan was in Malaysia. Were you in Kuala Lumpur?
Yep, KL.
Okay, so he's in Kuala Lumpur, and we had been chatting back and forth through text and everything, and we said, hey, let's do. I think you said, hey, you got a quick moment for a Google Hangout, and we were right up there. It must have been, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We're at the Lincoln Memorial, and
that's right.
Got my phone out and got the Mophie plugged in because it was draining battery. But so why don't you?
I don't think I have that picture. I don't know who has it, but maybe I have it. I don't know. But someone tweeted out, Evan, if you've got it or.
Well, I
think I have. I think it's in my G Plus. I'll locate it.
You did take a picture. I remember, and I will never forget. This is gonna be a funny shout out for Todd. Drew. I don't even think you were there at the time. Evan, it was so funny. Here. Evan just goes, Todd, you're shorter than I thought you were. I think it was something like that.
That's exactly how it was.
Evan goes, I'm 6'3". That's really going to be awkward or something like that. It was, they have the short. Hey, Evan, I'm with you.
I'm a proud member.
Evan, they have the Short Man's Club, and they comment all the time on Twitter and stuff. And I can't be in it. You can't be in it. So it was nice to hear. I get the old man jokes all the time, and I can't be in the Short Man Club. So So Evan,
we'll start our own club.
So you're probably between Drew and I in age, I'm guessing.
Probably, yeah.
You're probably in your 30s, mid.
Late 30s, yeah. 40s cusp.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just over 40. So I'll be no lie to the viewers. I will be 42 next Tuesday night on the show. I will have a birthday show. So next Tuesday I'll be 42, and we'll talk about maybe.
Gosh, you're old.
I know. Hey, but who has more gray hair, right?
I
know.
We'll start the Tall Man Club.
It's like I gotta deal with you on a daily basis.
I actually have a principal here at the elementary school. He could be part of our Tall Man Club. He almost looks me in the eye.
Nice. Yeah. So you're a lot taller than I am. I think you're 6'3", aren't you?
4, but yeah, who's counting?
4. Jeez. I'm just under 6 feet, so I'll be looking up at you. But anyway, so tell us a little bit about your trip to Malaysia. I mean, you throw around London, Hong Kong, Malaysia. I'm throwing around Wichita, Dearborn.
What's wrong with Wichita?
Nothing. It was awesome.
Wichita, actually, I'm not going to lie. Wichita was great. San Antonio was great. We've been to some
Wichita, if you're watching, I love you. I love you. Brad might not love you, but I love you.
No. I love you, but it's funny. Evan throws out all these worldwide Globetrotter sets, but Aztec Podstock, we love you. We'll be there next year. But tell us about your trip to Malaysia.
I was actually someone by the name of Michael Wacker. He's part of the EdTech team. They put on the GAFE summits that you probably have seen going around. They're all over the world. Mm-hmm. Said that he thought I'd be really good to come out and present. I went to their summit in Seoul, Korea, and they do like I said, they do those demo slams. And got up, and I was a little nervous because there was about 400 people in the room, and I'm fiddling with my MacBook Air, which I only had just purchased a few weeks prior because my MacBook Pro crashed. And you've got Jenny Magara who's sitting in the audience, and she's a White House champ, and
she's awesome, man.
You've got Jim Sill sitting in the audience. I mean, just really great people. Jay Atwood was sitting in the audience. So you've got some big people in the world of ed tech sitting there, and there's me fumbling. But Michael Wacker, after I just went with my demo slam, Michael Wacker did give me some really good feedback on it, and said I did a good job. But then he said, hey, if you can, we'll be in Kuala Lumpur. You threw my name out there, so I presented twice in Kuala Lumpur at the GAFE Summit. If any of you ever have a chance to go to one of these, the EdTech team does an amazing job with these things. It's 2 days of awesomeness. They've got some really great keynote speakers that stand up, and you feel inspired. They've got lessons for every ability level. So whether or not you're just getting started, or as they call it, you're a ninja with it, and you want to get even nerdier with the stuff. I mean, there's really content for everyone. It's very reasonably priced. You're gonna, they're very approachable. It's not stuffy. It's like a fun Google event. So they're at gavesummit.com, or maybe it's gavesummits.com. I'm not sure, but you can look and you can see where they've been and where they're going. And if you follow anybody that's a Google certified teacher or a Google Apps certified trainer, you'll see them throw out tweets too, presenting here, presenting there. I know Kyle just tweeted out that he was invited to Indiana to present and at the Gave Summit there. So I mean, that's awesome. And
yeah, that's
Indiana,
not far away,
if you have
Brad.
a chance to to go to that, that'll be great.
That's
so that's
not
what
far away from us, so we might have to figure out where that is and when it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a nice drive down to Indiana.
Absolutely. So
the Hoosier State.
So Evan, this seems like a good segue. So what do you have coming up as far as conferences? We know where you've been. We just talked about some. You've been to London, Hong Kong, Kuala Lumpur, over in Malaysia. What else do you have coming up on your calendar? Hey, I know you're going to ISTE, right? You'll be in Atlanta next summer, right?
I should be in ISTE.
Should.
I'm waiting to hear about my proposal to them. So those should be coming out soon.
If you don't get it, you're still coming, right?
You can
I hope
crash.
so. Yeah, absolutely.
Evan, you can crash our session. You can help us present it if ours gets accepted, I guess.
It's in the cards. I'm actually getting on a plane tomorrow to go to Hong Kong. I'm going to be presenting at the 21st Century Learning Conference.
Nice.
So excited about that. Doing it's one session, but I'm going to be presenting it twice. So I know George Kurios is going to be there, and Gary Sager, the keynotes. Chris
those are
Fletcher is going to be there too. So I'm really excited about meeting him. He's a Google certified teacher, and I know he's doing some Google Apps trainings. So I'm presenting on the collaborative research. And then my calendar's kind of empty. Korean Airlines loves me. I actually had the same flight crew coming back from London that I had going, and they remembered me, which was really nice. But then in April, I'll be at in Singapore presenting at a conference with my colleague Cameron Taylor. We'll be presenting on how to use technology in the world language classroom. And then hopefully ISTE, hopefully ISTE. So
hopefully dude, that's gotta happen. That is gotta happen.
So if anyone from ISTE is listening, we need to get Evan over stateside from Japan.
And
if anyone's listening,
ISTE this year is gonna. I mean, it was great last year, but the more and more Drew and I get to meet people and get to know people. There's so many people. Like we were talking with Sean Junkins today. Shout out to him.
Yeah, Sean's awesome.
I was going to give him a shout out later, but I'll bring him up again later. So many people were going to be down there. It's going to be like a great professional learning vacation, if you will. It's like Drew and I talked about this while we were there. We were learning, and it's not a vacation. We probably slept 4 or 5 hours a night because
maybe
you're up early and you stay out late. You're always with people learning and just doing amazing things. So ISTE's definitely got to happen, Evan. So.
Fingers crossed. The last one I was at was in Atlanta, so that's a good venue for it too. It's huge.
Yeah, but
that's
it's
awesome.
Funny. I know when you were there, Evan, and it was quite a while ago. Am I right?
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, I've been overseas a while.
Wasn't it before it was even called Twitter?
Actually, Twitter had just come out. It was actually called NEC, the last one I was in.
Thank you. Oh,
yeah. Twitter was just. Twitter was. I remember signing up. Actually, I remember signing up for Twitter at that conference, and
that's what it was.
But I had a really low Twitter number, and then I just kind of just fell off with it because people were using Twitter to let me know that they were changing diapers and they were stuck in traffic and all that good stuff. And now look at what it's become. So I'm glad I'm a part of that again.
Yeah, exactly. As you know, it's absolutely amazing, and we can spend another hour talking about the power of Twitter, but. That's probably going to be another show Drew and I are going to do soon, Twitter, AR, social media, and stuff like that. So stay tuned. Yep. But all right, so Ev, let's move on now. So let's take a look at AR. Hey, let's touch base a little bit about augmented reality. Evan, I know you've dabbled with it. I know your Spanish teacher's done it. I know you're very familiar with the technology. And apparently Drew's got something that I haven't even seen yet. So
I don't think either one of you. Well, Evan, you might have seen it. I don't know, but
yeah,
Brad, I've talked to you about part of it.
You're only in Japan, and only 14-hour difference. I work 35 feet from his room, but Evan, you probably know. I have no idea, but Evan, you probably know 6,000 miles away. But hey, that's okay. 60 feet, I can bust in like Kramer and visit my friend Drew. And I come and check on him, say, hey, what's going on, man? How's your day? He's like, oh, good. Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Oh, nothing. I find out, I've been on the phone with Evan for an hour. I've been talking with Todd for an hour. Yeah, I'm talking all this great stuff that I'm doing. Guess what? I emailed him markers. I sent him a care package and stuff. I'm like, dude, I got my math book out. What are you talking about? What are you really? Fill me in. So, all right, boys. So one of you go first, one of you go second. I'll wrap up on AR. So where are we at?
I don't even know what to say to you.
I love it. Love it. All right, Evan, you start.
I'm going last today.
No. Okay, you can go last on AR, but you're not going last on playlist. Never.
All right, whatever.
All right, Evan, tell us your comfort level with AR and your experience.
The more and more, it's not a terribly difficult technology to learn, but the payoff, if you make the investment, it's kind of like Google Apps. If you make the investment, the payoff is just so valuable. But I started dabbling with it and doing I do these how-to sheets, and I was trying to come up with a more engaging way to get the teachers to interact with these how-to sheets. So I actually put they're called? Refresh my memory. Triggers? No.
Triggers.
Trigger or target?
Yeah, trigger. Targets, yeah. So I put targets. So it shows basically like a before of what it looks like, and then you hold your phone over the trigger, and it triggers, and it shows you what it should look like after. And the kids actually started playing with it. I was afraid I was going to lose my phone for a while, but that turned out to be a winning way to engage my audience with augmented reality and show the power of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, so I know you guys are doing some cool stuff. I've seen some of your tutorial videos. I know kind of the mission that you're on over there. And so what's your when you get a job like this overseas on the naval base? What is your time frame? What does it look like? I know you're all over the place and you go all over the world and you're in demand and it's awesome. And I know you're awesome at your job. What's it look like? What is this package thing? You're there with your family. Do you come back stateside? Are you going to another country when you're up there? What does it look like for you?
Well, I'm in my free agent year, so that's always up for the negotiation. If there's anyone looking, I'm always open to listen to offers. You never know. That's how this kind of happened. I was actually teaching in Las Vegas. And like a week or so into the school year, I actually got an email from the elementary school principal. I used to cover the whole campus here in Sasebo. I used to have the elementary through the middle high school, and he's like, hey, do you want to interview for a position in Sasebo, Japan? And of course, I had to Google Sasebo, Japan because no one's heard of Sasebo, Japan. And later that night, it was a time difference where we had about an hour conversation, and he was telling me all kinds of things about it. And so I'm always open to new adventures and new realms and that kind of thing. I think it's important to keep your options open. But this is my free agent year, my free agency year.
Hey,
that's awesome.
For anybody listening, if you want a chance at this amazing educator and what he does, connect with him, look him up.
You better get a hold of him quick because he's going to be on high demand.
Absolutely. He's already comfortable going all over the world, so you never know where he may end up. But wherever you end up, you still have to be a friend of the show and come back and join us and stuff.
Always, always. I love just sending you random texts and tweets. Hey, let's Google Hangout. I'm at lunch. Let's Google Hangout. I'm at lunch.
I know it's funny.
That's right.
We've hung out many times. I was at soccer practice one night. It was over. I sat down at a picnic table, and we just ended up chatting. We'll get a pic from Evan. He'll be canoeing in a sea kayak. He's like, oh yeah, this is the land of 1,000 islands. Thanks. I'm looking at smog and traffic. Thanks. I love it. But anyways, it's all
Yeah,
good.
it's snowing
Isn't it
outside.
cool to have that technology that works like right out of your pocket, and you don't need Wi-Fi to enjoy it?
Dude, you're so right. I mean, even
Isn't that awesome?
10 years ago,
Thank
it
you,
wasn't.
Google.
Exactly. Thank you, Google. Seriously, I mean, like, we'll sit there and chat. You know, it's cool. It's like Jetsons, really. You know, we're of the Jetsons era. You know, so like,
Really?
you know, I mean, so now we live it and we see it all the time. I mean, you know, when we talk to people like about having meetings or talking about whatever, I prefer to Google Hangout. I say this all the time.
It's just easier. It really is.
It really is. It's
It
absolutely.
just works.
It does.
It just works.
Well, that Google Hangout is honestly, I think Drew said it's like the game changer. It blows all the other ones away. I mean, you know,
It's not even close.
FaceTime is fine. Skype's okay. Google Hangout just blows. It's just the technology is absolutely amazing.
True.
So, but,
All right, Brad, you're up for AR Corner.
Oh, seriously. All right. Well, you know, I kind of did my AR corner a little bit. I did my AR explosion. Okay, so I got a couple cool things we're doing in my classroom. I think I mentioned this once before already. You know, I have a composition book. All my kids have a It's not a notebook, but I have a composition book for all my kids at school. And every writer's workshop, we put in a piece in there. We put in a piece, you know, just an analog learning piece. It's like a mini anchor chart, if you will. Well, the cool thing is we've been augmenting all those about reminders on how to use them. So that's one thing. So they can pull these out. They can get the iPad, hover over it, and get little reminders on, you know, creating strong leads. You know, sentence fluency, word choice, whatever. It's great. Something we're doing now. You've heard me allude to it. It's getting a little bigger. Actually, if you could see this sticky note. See if I can show that up. Can you read that, Drew? Can you guys read that?
AR Binder.
Yeah, AR Binder. And it says AR Binder tutorial lessons. These are all the lessons that we're currently working on. I have this 3-ring binder, and I've created triggers in there to where I've multiplied myself in a sense. We take these little mini lessons, kind of like using Drew's idea with the math homework every night. Now, making these 3-ring binders where when I'm working in math workshop or writer's workshop with groups or whatever, and a kid has a question, they can go use this. They can look at one of the markers, say they want to work on place value or partial sums, you know, methods or something. You know, I got place value, partial products, all kinds of stuff on here. Thing is, the kid hovers over it, get the little tutorial, boom. They can watch it over. They can hit the pause button. They can hit rewind. Whatever. It's like Khan Academy for little kids in a sense, because Khan Academy is amazing, but I don't have all the access for all my kids to go get online, go find out what they need, search through all the categories. They can use this image recognition software using Erasmus, go put it over the trigger. They know what's going to come up to them, and with, you know, everything being in the cloud, it goes to, if I create one on one iPad, it's on all of them because we're all logged into the same account. So
and that's key, and that is very key.
Yes, it is. So I have 10. I have my own too. So I have 11 iPads, all logged into the same account. So I create everything on the device. I know Drew is more of a studio guy, and that's actually perfect for us. So I'll go create it in the studio. I'll do it on one. Boom! It pushes out instantly to all of them automatically. So the kids have their own iPads, and Drew and I share them. So it's like colored star, blue star, red star, whatever. The kids know which one they grab. It's theirs to use. Hover over anything, and boom, they get their information. Because you know what we believe is make it meaningful and integrated. It's not a standalone technology. It's not a dog and pony show. It's not a magic show. We love the magic aspect of it. We can do some really cool stuff, but we want to just make it meaningful for kids. So, you know, when my kids said, "Oh, we use this, and this," they didn't say we go to the computer lab and plug in. They say we use this for writing. We use this for math. We use this for science. And so that's kind of where we are in my class right now with AR and tech. You know, we kind of try to just keep using this to make the classroom even better, to make the learning deeper, to get them engaged, and obviously more meaningful because, you know, you've seen it, Drew, and I'm sure you've seen it too. When those kids are engaged, you know, you can do so much more. You know, it's absolutely amazing. So,
Adults
so
are
that's my
engaged
AR corner for tonight. And
isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
You want to see
so
adults
true,
engaged,
and we're working on. Drew's got a bulletin board.
Yeah, just give Brad and I for hours.
I mean, imagine doing a professional development all in augmented reality. Imagine how much more engaging that would be than just sitting there watching somebody drone on with a PowerPoint behind them.
Well,
oh my gosh! And by the way, Yep, Drew and I we're doing some local ones, we're doing some national ones, of course, but go ahead and use this segment. If that's something you're interested, we'd like us, Drew and I, to come join you for some professional developments, for some inspiration, talk technology, whatever, get a hold of us. We love doing it. We can keynote, we can do feature speaking, we can do hands-on workshops. We can get, our audience is typically not early adopters. It's a couple people who've heard the technology, haven't really seen it, and people have no idea what it is. What we're really good at is getting people on board, getting them to buy in.
That's right.
Evan knows once you see it, Evan shares it, it changes the game. So, anyways, yeah, we love doing that. But Drew, I'm really curious to find out what all my friends all over the world know what you're doing in AR that I really just don't even know.
It's not that I'm really doing anything in my classroom. There's some newer apps out. Especially the newer one, I think that it's got really a lot of potential to kind of catch fire, is the one from the founding, the people who backed Erasmus from the beginning. It's called Tagger.
Oh,
and it's a social media AR app.
Yep.
Where you can literally, like, Brad, this is the whole thing. You can tag anything anywhere and people can view it. That's the thing. It's like super auras everywhere.
It's like super aura, geocaching, global GPS type, leaving messages.
It's awesome. I put an aura on the front of my Aaron Condren planner the other day, and it just turns it right into the Two Guys logo when you put it over it, and it looks like a ripple effect, like it's water. It's pretty sweet. So
I needed to do this outside the White House, which I kind of didn't do it because my goal was to leave an aura at the White House, but I was kind of afraid to even talk about it or do it because I'm afraid the Secret Service would show up. I did not leave an aura anywhere around the White House if Secret Service is listening. I was in there, but I did not leave any auras. But that's what Tagger sounds like, a little bit like that. It's almost like Go ahead.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I suggest downloading it. It's an iPhone app only right now. Taggar. I just tweeted out the link to download it a minute ago, so definitely check that out. It's cool. I've just started playing with it a little bit, but I mean the fact that you can really kind of tag anything, and then people can go view it, and then they can alt tag over top of it.
That's so
and just like that. So it's kind of interesting. You can do videos and pictures, all types of things. So definitely check that one out. So the other one is from our friends, Brad, our good friends of Daiquiri.
Oh, come on! Really?
Their new app. It's called Fox 4D for Fox Movies.
What's the Fox say?
Motion pictures. No, it's not what the Fox says.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. But it's there's only one trigger that they've been working actually with the director of the Wolverine movie.
Really?
So yeah, and there's a great article with the CEO of Daiquiri, Brian Mullins. He's at Mr. Laserbeam on Twitter. If you want to give him a shout out, definitely start blowing Daiquiri up. But their Fox 4D app is like it's an augmented reality app with the cover of the Wolverine movie, and it's literally like a game where they have the cover turns into like a train game. This high-speed train's coming at you, and these people are trying to kill you, and you're Wolverine, and it's like a first-person game, and kind of like how you move the cover moves the whole scene.
Wow.
Of the train. It's pretty cool. I tweeted a picture out about it last night.
You have it. You have it in the class, in your classroom.
I didn't because I just decided against it because when they start throwing it in, then all of a sudden like the screen gets bloody because you get hurt.
No, I mean, do you have one that I can see tomorrow?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool.
If you download the app, you can just go to like the about section or whatever and like pull and
print it off.
You don't even print it off. I just had it on my phone.
Oh.
And then I use my iPad to play it, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So definitely try and check that out. Big shout out to the people at Daiquiri. They're doing amazing things, that's for sure. And then the other one, as many people probably know, is trying to get, this isn't augmented reality, but it's headed there, is the Google Glass, I mean, we're trying to get it in our classroom, and we're really geeked about trying to get it. I've got till Friday to kind of finish it off, and what is someone's phone vibrating?
It's gotta be Evan.
Evan, is that you?
My wife is calling.
Drew always gives me grief about mine. It's like before every show, Brad, put on Do Not Disturb. But you know what? I'm pretty sure, Drew, that I found out if it's already on silent and you put on Do Not Disturb, it still vibrates. You actually have to put
it doesn't vibrate.
Yes, it does.
flick up, hit the half moon, dude. It doesn't vibrate, doesn't make a noise.
I'm telling you, last night I tried it. You have to actually put the volume on and then hit it on Do Not Disturb. Because if your volume's off, if your ringer's off, and you put on Do Not Disturb, it still vibrates. Yeah, well, my 5CRSTNV, the latest version, which is chromium nickel alloyed gold, does that. Just saying, with 2 diamonds studded in the back, with my hashtag engraved in it in pewter. Just saying.
It doesn't do it. So anyway.
Okay.
So definitely, there's some things, where I'm excited about getting the glass. It's not really for me. I mean, I'll use them, but I'm not gonna be wearing these things around public. Let me tell you, I think my girlfriend would. That might be the end of me. Let's just put it that way if I wear a glass around.
So you're going to send them home with me some nights so I can wear them in public. I can go up to the mall and I can, walk around and share it. Next thing I'll know, I'll be in the food court with some AR targets and I'll have, logos and stuff.
Nothing like that, actually. I plan on having my students wear them throughout the day. And you talked about it earlier, multiplying yourself, Well, what better way to do it with Google Glass, where you're actually getting them filming you from their point of view using Glass, and then you can use that video to for kids that are absent or kids who want to re-see the lesson, things like that. I mean,
dude,
what powerful way is that? I mean, it's gonna be game changing in our school and in our class, and I cannot wait to get it. So definitely check that out. I think we're 83% funded or something like that, something crazy. We're almost there, so I'm real excited about it.
It's going to be awesome. Your kids are going to benefit, and when you're out of the class, hopefully my kids can see it. We can do some sharing, but it's seriously, it's going to make a huge impact there. And the thing is our kids already know that what they're seeing is, we're early adopters. They don't understand that language, but the thing is and we say this all the time, Evan, and our viewers know this. The kids are ready. They're familiar with this technology. It's really more of us that have the hang-ups or not as comfortable. So this is it's another seamless way to go. And Drew, you're a perfect person to have it. You're a gadget guy. You love the technology. It's going to be
I'll play with it all day long. You know that.
Absolutely, and they're going to benefit from that because you're going to be passionate, you're going to have the enthusiasm, you're going to spend extra time figuring out how to make it even more meaningful in your class, and they're going to benefit. So I think it was just beautiful when you got the invitation, and I look forward to seeing that happen. So that's good.
I hope so. I'm excited about it too. So that's my AR corner for the night. So let's move on into. Brad, we will do shout-outs. Let's go to Twitter shout-outs first.
Shout-outs and then music, and then we are out of here.
That is right. It is a wrap for tonight. So let's move on over to shout-outs. So, Evan, you want to start us off with your Twitter shout-outs?
Sure. Here, I created a little Google presentation on who I'm going. Let me share over. Hold on.
Oh, look at this.
All right. Can you guys see that?
There it is, right there.
All right. So my first 5 to follow, or my first Twitter shout out, has to go to Rachel Jones. She's a fellow GTA UKer. Really, awesome blog. If you ever have the chance to read her blog, it's definitely worth checking out. She's an edu hero in my opinion, and she always tweets out some really, really great things. Another GTA UKer is William Lau. He's really into using gaming to further education, but just a deep thinker. I enjoyed every conversation that I had with him while I was in London, and I can't wait till I'm back there again so that we can continue talking. We also have Catherine Shravemaid. I hope I didn't mess up her name. She's down in Australia. She's also a GTA UKer. She's just brilliant. She always tweets out some really inspiring things, things that make you think. I like to follow people that make me think and further my growth. My fourth one has to go to Joe Mazza. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
I have met Joe, and Joe is awesome. Joe does some great. Amazing things. He really does.
Love how he calls himself a lead learner. He's a principal. Actually, I think he's actually segueing out. He's moving into a district level position. But really great guy. Love what he does with PT, the moderated PT chat, and getting parents and teachers talking about education issues. So that's always important. And last but certainly not least is my friend Lee Scaluga. She's also a Google certified teacher, but she was in the Chicago cohort. If you love, somebody who's going to make you think, and just one of the best presenters I've ever seen in my life, follow her. But she's also bilingual, so she also tweets out in French. So you don't even have to understand what she's tweeting. It just sounds awesome because it's in French. So definitely check out those 5. They're really good people.
She was following along with the show, tweeting out a little bit earlier. So I definitely just gave her a follow, and I'm definitely gonna look up those other ones. I know I follow Joe, but the other 3 definitely.
Absolutely, they're all really great people. I mean, I enjoyed my time with them, and that's what I don't know. That's what I use Twitter for. Follow. It's not about who follows you. To me, it's about who you follow and who helps us on our learning journeys and makes us better educators and that kind of thing. So. Absolutely.
Brad, you want me to go?
I can go either way you want, but
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So as Evan just said, like for me, it's not about who follows you. It's about I follow people, but what I really look forward to is interacting with people. So and people know this. If you reach out to me, I will chat back with you. And I had an instant message from somebody this morning. I have to look up his name. It was really cool. So I got it this morning from Luis Cardol. He said, hey, I'm doing research on augmented reality for physical education. Any tips? And so I ended up DMing back and forth, hooked him up. And actually, when I tweeted out AR tutorials this morning, it was actually for him. I CC'd him on it. Luis Cardol, you can find him at Colombiano LA. You can probably just check my Twitter feed. You'll find him. Ted Huff, he's watching the show right now. Had a GHO with him. He is in Missouri, and the cool thing is he's with the Technology Leadership Academy, which is 3 counties in Greater St. Louis, and they're having a cohort on Thursday. And actually, Drew and I are going to pop into GHO and do some little augmented reality with them. So Ted Huff, he's at Ted Hiff on Twitter. And then I mentioned Sean Junkins a little earlier tonight. He's down in South Carolina, does a lot of great stuff. He's a technology specialist. He's going to be down in ISTE. It was really nice. He gave us a shout out and said, hey, I just voted for the 2 guys some blog awards. We were nominated on the EduBlogs, which was amazing. So thank you for everybody who's voted. If you want to share information and share that for people to vote for us, that's wonderful. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Sean Junkins is at S Junkins on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And then I talked about Marty Keltz. And then I'm going to give a shout out to Marcy. I know Marcy's been she's been tweeting with Evan this week. That's my new secretary. She is Marcy. She is at Brad's secretary. Be patient with her. She's learning her job. She's keeping my calendar. She's keeping everything scheduled and clean. Just be patient. I know. I think she sent Evan a lot of tweets this week, but she just wanted to make sure you didn't miss the show. So, huge shout out to Marcy. She's at Brad's secretary on Twitter. So, those are my.
We love Marcy.
I don't even know how to follow that. I don't even know how to follow that. I mean, honestly.
Thank you. See, that's why I go last, Drew. But anyways.
All right, my 3 are 3 you've probably. I know that 99% of the people that are listening or watching right now have heard of. One is a big shout out to a former guest of ours, Don Wetrick. If you guys haven't read his latest post about the things he's doing with some of the kids in his classroom and attacking weight loss and obesity and things like that and really changing kids' lives, I mean, it will borderline bring tears to your eyes. I mean, it is a powerful thing that he's doing. He's literally changing the lives of his students. And getting other schools in the area on board, I mean, it's just giving me goosebumps thinking about it. I mean, you want to talk about an educator who's going above and beyond to literally change lives.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
great guy, great follow, doing amazing things. Yeah,
mind-blowing. Really check that out. Another one, we talked a little bit about the Shortman Club earlier, is to the Shortman Club Queen at Daisy Dreyer Doer, and she is one of my favorite people maybe of all time. I got to hang out with her earlier this year in D.C., and she is just a phenomenal person. Definitely give her a follow. She's a great administrator down there in Arkansas and big football fan. So just one of my favorite people in general, period, so have to give her a shout-out. And then I'm a little bit jealous of you, Evan. You get to go see this person this weekend, George Kuros. I'm going to give him a shout-out because he does. I mean, I'm sure everyone that's listening follows George Kiros, but man, he was a big part of the discussion in our 21st Century Learning cohort this last week, and he does amazing things and just a real inspiration. Just has a right mindset about education from an administrative level, and it's just real inspiring stuff. That's for sure. His TED Talk is hilarious too, by the way. It's inspirational and hilarious, so definitely give that a look. Those are mine.
All right. Well, sweet. Well, hey, I know everybody's been waiting for it all week. This is what people are. It's not about Brad and Drew. It's not about our guest. It's not about the ed tech. It's not about the AR.
Not about the guest. Sorry, Evan.
No, I threw us under the bus first, just to do that.
Oh my gosh!
It's the show. I mean, hey, the foundation of the show is built on our playlist. I know, it's gotten crazy. You know, we're going to be getting some artists on here and stuff. But so this is your chance where you get to talk about what you're currently listening to, what's on your playlist. That's what everybody wants. You know what? I've seen shirts. I've been around the Detroit metro area. It says, "What's on your playlist?" Hashtag 2GuysShow. I mean, hey, how cool is that? So anyway, all right. So Evan, why don't you start? You're our guest. Why don't you share with us what's on your playlist?
All right. So 3 on my playlist. One of my favorite songs of all time is probably "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson. For me, there's just really no better self-correct, put it into perspective song than that. I also love. I rock out to this song, but it's the Zac Brown Band, the live version of "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." If you haven't seen that, YouTube it. They performed it live at the CMAs. You don't have to like country to enjoy this, and I mean, I don't know if he's watching. He should be watching because you guys are awesome. But their fiddler, Jimmy Dean Martini, oh my goodness, that guy can play a mean fiddle. And here's a cool trivia fact about him. He didn't even start learning how to play until he was 12. So that gives me hope, and it gives Drew hope because, Drew's 12.
Pow!
And then,
I
actually, I actually got turned on to them while I was in Britain. My wife can tell you I've come back with my British accent and my British vocabulary, but Keep On Walking, because I walk every day to work. I walk 3 miles to work and 3 miles back home.
Wow.
Back home is the tough part because it's all uphill, but that's by Passenger.
Both ways.
So I don't know if you had a chance to check them out, but that's what I'm listening to.
Awesome.
Passenger is a phenomenal album. I have that. We downloaded that on the way to Podstock, Brad, and Rocks and Passenger. That's kind of our type of music too. Great album. I would agree. So, am I up, Brad?
Drew, you're up. Hey, Dave, you're up.
Oh, Dave. So, to be honest with you, I'm actually pulling up iTunes looking for songs to say.
Not prepared. It's okay. You know what?
I have one song. I have one song written down, and that is "Thank You," Terry Eichholz. Because
Thank You by MKTO. That's interesting. That's a good song, Drew.
No, that's not. No. She sent me a DM the other day, and it was so funny. She's like, just in case you're too busy listening to sports shows to find out a new song for this week, I found a new song for you.
That's awesome.
It's The Fray, Love Don't Die. She says it's awesome, and it is. So definitely check out that song. That is my playlist of the week. Thank you, Terry Eichholz.
Wow, interesting. Good stuff, Drew. All right.
Thank you. That's powerful, I know.
And thank you to Terry. So, all right. So I got a couple things going on here. I've mentioned one is the Google Dolls "Come to Me." Just love that song. I'm hearing it still on satellite. It's a really good
repeat.
Oh, one time, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. All right. So here's a new one. This is a cool song. It's by American authors. And it's called "Best Day of My Life." It's a fun pickup song. It's great.
I don't know that one.
You do or don't?
I don't.
Yeah, it's pretty new. It's cool. It's called "Best Day of My Life" by American authors. And then I'm actually gonna have to do 4. Sorry, but "Chocolate" by 1975. Cool song. And then that goes with I gotta give Mark a shout out. I mentioned him last week. He's my English friend. Dude, he's been texting me during the show, and I mean, from the beginning of the show to the end of the show, I can't believe what's transpired. we're all talking about going all over the world. He's like, well, we're going to Dubai. So he's all over the world, and he wants us to go to Dubai, Drew, with him to do some tech stuff with AR. But the thing is while we're sitting here, he tells me, oh, I just got an invitation for Google Glass. So he just got an invite to be
nice.
just then, as we got Be an Explorer. So I told him he's got to do it. So, and by the way, we need to make sure that he follows through with his deal. He's getting me a Tottenham shirt, which is Erasmus. Remember, Drew, last year I showed you the Tottenham jersey. It says Erasmus right on it. This year it's Hewlett-Packard's because Hewlett-Packard bought them, but he was wearing one at soccer the other night. He's like, I had no idea what Erasmus was. But, we had breakfast the other morning and dinner the other night, and we're chatting about Erasmus and AR. So we got to make sure he follows through with that. So, Mark, make sure. I love that jersey. Got to have it.
Awesome.
And then, come on, you Spurs, so let's go. So, and then last two things. Marty Keltz, already talked about him. We're doing a GHO. He is the executive producer of, he's the one that handled Magic School Bus, handled Goosebumps, also Indy and the Cover of the movie. They've got a new project coming out for elementary. Been chatting with him on Twitter for a few weeks now, but we lined up everything today. We're going to be doing a Google Hangout, him, another person he works with, and my kids on Thursday. So stay tuned. I'll probably write that up. We'll probably talk about that on the show. And then last thing, on my birthday next week, fingers crossed, after the show last week, Project Dirty, and Terry and Paul and everybody else who's out there watching and listening, let's start tweeting them again. Project Dirty, the song is called Skywalker. They were DMing, we were texting last week, and they're trying to come on the show next week on my birthday to talk about their super smash hit called Skywalker. We're going to just give them a follow. Actually, give them a listen. Get that song.
Yeah, that song's awesome. Download it on iTunes. Great song.
It is awesome, right, Drew? You've heard it now, right?
It's a good song. Yeah, it's a good song.
So awesome. So anyway, so check that out. Fingers crossed that they're going to be with us next week. I've been chatting with Micah from the band, so give them a shout on Twitter. Check out the song. So, all right. Well, hey, let's start wrapping this up. Evan, as always, great tonight. Great chatting with you. You bring a lot of great stuff to the show, and wish you best of luck in everything in the future. And wherever you land, they're lucky to have you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. That was fun.
Oh, hey, yeah. Good luck this weekend in Hong Kong. We're excited to hear about how it goes. That's
yep.
for sure.
Yeah, I'll bring the logo and we'll do something. We'll get to it. We'll do something from Hong Kong.
I like it.
So, Evan, give everybody your contact information, how they can get a hold of you. So they can reach out to you.
Well, I'm Evan Scherr on Twitter, and then I'm plus Evan Scherr on Google Plus. And if you guys haven't given Google Plus a try, I'm actually working on a blog post about my entire perception of why Google Plus is the greatest social media platform that nobody is using.
Oh, I use it. Yep. Agreed. It's great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on the Two Guys Show. What, Brad? What?
Well, I was going to say, give us your contact information. Start wrapping up your half. Let them know who you are.
Wow. See how demanding he is, Evan? See how he's just barking orders around here?
I'm excited. It's been a good show. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to teaching tomorrow. Come on.
It's getting past his bedtime. He's old. Definitely check us out on iTunes.
I should be laughing at that. Brad and I are close in age.
Yeah, Evan gets up early, man. His young kids, man, he gets up early. Woo!
Isn't it past your curfew, Drew? Don't we have a curfew?
If Drew can't be at the movie theater right now because they're looking for his parents. He can't even defend himself. His screen froze up. I love it.
Comical. They're so funny.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Drew, give us your contact information, then I'll wrap up.
Well, first off, head on over to iTunes, give us a rating, leave us a comment, let us know what you think about the show. We're excited that, at kind of the popularity that we think we kind of are getting, I guess, huh, Brad? But it's just we have so much fun with this every single Tuesday night. As you can tell, it's supposed to be 60 minutes. We're at 80 already, and we're just horrible at timing things. So
it's great. People stay with us.
Thank you for everybody for hanging out with us and having fun with us each Tuesday night. You can find us at twoguysandsmipads.com or I'm at TechMinock on Twitter. Definitely keep coming back. Next week is our last show before the holiday, and then we're going to take a small break. And it just happens to be Brad's 98th birthday next week, so definitely come on back and enjoy the show with us.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us on the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network. We'd like to thank them as well. Thank you, Drew. As always, enjoy doing the show with you. I will see you in the morning. Evan, thanks so much for joining us. I know you took your lunch break to spend time with us. We really appreciate it. So, and you can reach me. I am at TechBradWade on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook. Check out our blog, twoguysmypads.com. You can follow us on Instagram. And thank you again for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week. And my 98th birthday. Go figure. I look okay for 98. So,
you look great.
Thank you, Evan, and thank you everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week this week, and stay connected, everybody.
Bye, everybody.